Hi everyone, today is a non-fiction book about space. It's part of a series called STEAM Me, and STEAM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, Arts, and Mathematics, and you might have had a class like that in your school, or maybe STEM. And this book is called Space Exploration. It is written by L.J. Trakasis. Here's a brief explanation about what STEAM Me means and what to expect in this book, like great photos, new ideas, fascinating facts, and hands-on activities. Take off into space. Do you ever look up at the night sky and wonder what it's like up there with the stars? People have been looking at the stars for thousands of years, but we've only just started to travel into space and learn more about our solar system and the universe. There's so much to explore. Let's blast off and see what's out there. It's out of this world. In boxes like these, throughout the book, you'll think about your place in the universe and what it would be like to live in space and more. So this little section is called Shapes in the Sky. Constellations are stars that form shapes or patterns. Can you see stars that form the Big Dipper? So that's kind of a pretty well-known constellation. It looks like kind of a ladle or cup with a handle. Those stars together form that pattern. Look down there. It's planet Earth. Astronauts took this photo from space. Isn't that amazing? This is a real photo of Earth. Where is space? Space starts at about 60 miles above Earth. That's more than 1,000 football fields away. What is space? Look up. Past the blue sky is a place where there's no air and no light. There's no sound either. That place is space. Your flight is canceled. You can't take an airplane to space. Jets fly high in the sky, but jet engines need air to work because there's no air in space. An airplane can't fly there. You have to take a rocket, right? Jet won't do. There's no light and no air, but space isn't empty. Space is filled with many things. It has small things like gases and particles or teeny tiny pieces of matter. Space also has big things like planets, moons, and stars. Far out. Space holds human-made objects like satellites. There's also space junk, things that humans have left behind in space, such as screws from machines and old satellites. And then this is an activity you could do. Look up in the night sky. What shape is the moon? Can you see the Big Dipper? Invent your own constellation. Use your fingers to connect stars you see. Make up a cool name for your constellation. So constellations aren't official. There's no official right or wrong constellation. It's just something people kind of notice. They said, you know what, those group of stars kind of look like a bear or a bucket. So you can go out and say, you know what, to me that kind of looks like a mountain or a fish. It's up to you. Our planet Earth has one sun. Kepler 16b is a planet that has two suns. Space dust. Asteroids are rocks that orbit space. Space dust can form when objects like asteroid crash into moons or other asteroids. So we only have one sun on Earth, but there are other planets that have two or more. And here's a picture of some space dust and some satellite or space junk. A planet is a round body that orbits around a star. You're on a planet right now. Your planet's name is Earth. Earth is circling around or orbiting a star. That star is the sun. Earth is also rotating or spinning. Are you dizzy yet? Okay, it takes 365 days or 1 year to travel around the sun. That's how we know, or that's how we decided how long a year is. Is how long it takes the Earth to orbit the sun. Rotating the day away. As Earth spins or rotates, we get daytime and nighttime. Daytime happens in the places where the Earth is facing the sun. Nighttime happens when on a spot of Earth faces away from the sun. So that's why we have day and night, because sometimes when we're rotating, we're facing the sun, sometimes we're not. Zoom. Earth is speeding around the sun at 67,000 miles per hour. Whew. That's about 800 times faster than a race car can go around a track. STEAM and me. Each year you take a trip around, all the way around the sun. How old are you? How many full orbits have you made? How long will it be until your birthday when you start your next orbit? So if you are 8 years old, then you've orbited the sun 8 times. And if you're 102, then you've orbited 102 times. So pretty interesting. The star that Earth orbits is the sun. The sun is a star just like the stars you see twinkling in the night sky. The sun looks different because it's so much closer to Earth than any other star. Like all stars, the sun is a big ball of hot gases. It's the heat from gases that makes the sun bright. It says mass of gas. The sun is made of gases called hydrogen and helium. Helium is the same stuff that makes balloons float. Light and heat from the sun travel to Earth in about 8 minutes. That light and warmth make life on Earth possible. Nothing, including you, can live or grow without the sun. One big star. The sun is so big that more than 1 million Earths could fit inside of it. Whew. The sun is so important to our solar system. There are 2 types of planet in the solar system, gas planets and terrestrial planets. This is called other planets orbit the sun too. A solar system is a star and the planets that orbit around it. Our solar system has 8 planets. Closest to the sun is Mercury, followed by Venus. Next is Earth, that's us. Then there's Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. So there are 2 types of planets in our solar system, gas planets and terrestrial planets. Gas giants. These are planets made of gases. Gas planets are Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Terrestrial planets. These are planets that have hard surfaces made of rocks and minerals. The terrestrial planets are Venus, Mercury, Earth, and Mars. Which planet in the solar system is Earth? Do you know? Ding, 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 ding. There we are. Look at the picture of the solar system on this page. Which planet is the biggest in our solar system? Which planet is the smallest? So the biggest is Jupiter, and the smallest is Mercury. One way to remember the order of the planets is to make up a sentence using the first letters of their names, such as, my very excellent mother just served us nachos. So the M is for Mercury, the V is for Venus, the E is for Earth, M is for Mars, J is for Jupiter, S is for Saturn, U is for Uranus, and N is for Neptune. Make up your own sentence to help you remember the order of the planets. It's called a mnemonic device. So as long as your sentence starts with, each word starts with M, V, E, M, J, S, U, N. It can be a funny sentence too if you'd like. Why do the planets orbit the sun? Gravity holds everything together. Gravity is a force that pulls objects toward each other. The sun is so big that the strength of its gravity keeps the planets from spinning away into space. Way, way out there. Mass is a measure of how much matter something is made of. The larger mass something has, the more gravity it has. Jupiter has a larger mass than Earth, so Jupiter has a stronger gravity. The strength of gravity also affects how much things weigh. A cat weighs about 8 pounds on Earth, but on a super large Jupiter, that same cat weighs about 20 pounds. Isn't that interesting? Depending on what planet you're on, the same thing will have way different weights. The moon is smaller than Earth, so the gravity there is weaker. Astronauts can leap far on the moon. You may have seen videos of people on the moon. You can kind of almost like they're jumping because the gravity is not as strong as it is on Earth. Stuck on Earth. Earth's gravity keeps your feet on the ground. Gravity keeps you from floating away. Good thing we have it, right? Is the moon a planet? The moon might look like a planet because it's round, but planets orbit stars and the moon orbits Earth. So it's not a planet. The moon is not a star either. Even though it shines like one, the moon is a really big rock. It glows only because the light of the sun shines on it. Now you see it, now you don't. Sometimes there's a bright full moon, big and round in the night sky. Other times there's just a half or sliver of a moon shines at night. Sometimes we can't see the moon shining at all. But the whole moon is up there all the time. As the moon orbits Earth, we get to see different parts of it every night. So depending on where the moon is in relation to Earth, we get to see different parts of it, but the whole thing is always there, just not the whole thing is not always lit up. The moon's surface is covered in craters or big dents. The craters form when asteroids or space rocks hit its surface. Do you see all those craters here? Many moons. Earth has just one moon. Other planets in our solar system have many more. Jupiter has more than 70 moons, and Saturn has more than 50. So STEAM and me. Look at the moon every night for a week and draw its shape as it changes. Is the moon getting bigger? That means it's waxing. Or is it getting smaller? Waning. So the moon gets bigger and bigger and bigger until it's a full moon, and then once it's a full moon, it starts to get smaller and smaller and smaller, waning. Waxing and waning. You can see about 2,500 stars at night. With special equipment, you can see millions of stars. Stars are very far away, so we don't measure the distance in miles. We measure the distance to stars in light years. 1 light year equals trillions of miles. Are we there yet? Proxima Centauri, our nearest star neighbor, is about 25 trillion miles away. It would take thousands of years to fly there in a space shuttle. Very powerful equipment allows scientists to peer far into space. The Hubble telescope took this photo showing millions of stars. Isn't that amazing? So each little dot there you see is a star, and each star might have a whole solar system connected to it. Isn't that truly amazing? So the STEAM and Me activity is people haven't invented a spacecraft that can fly to distant stars. You use your imagination and draw a picture of the spacecraft you would use to fly to Proxima Centauria. Would it be shaped like a rocket or something else completely? How big would its rocket boosters be? Tongue twister for me. Phew. Have you ever seen a shooting star? If you have, it wasn't a star at all. It was probably a meteor. The flash from a space rock called a meteoroid as it burned up in Earth's atmosphere. A meteoroid is just one type of object that zooms through space. Asteroids are rocks that zoom around the solar system. Comets are balls of ice and dust that come from outside the solar system. A meteoroid are space rocks that are bigger than a speck of dust and smaller than an asteroid. A meteorite is a space rock that lands on Earth. Look, there's a meteor. Some people call it a shooting star. Some people think it's good luck to make a wish when you see one. Planet Earth is in the Milky Way galaxy. A galaxy is a collection of stars in their solar systems, plus swirling gases and dust. The Milky Way is a galaxy in the shape of a spiral. Gravity holds a galaxy together. Galaxies or collections of stars can be shaped like spirals. When a very powerful telescope called the Hubble telescope looked at the night sky, it found more than 10,000 galaxies in just one spot of space. Whew. So each galaxy has millions of solar systems. So each galaxy has billions of planets, and this telescope found 10,000 of them. So I can't imagine how many planets are in that one photograph. Is there milk in the Milky Way? No, the Milky Way gets its galaxy from the bands of dust and gas that swirl in it. The clouds look a little bit like milk. On a dark night, you can sometimes see those milky clouds on Earth. What else is out there? You can see light from stars and galaxies in space, but there's stuff we can't see too. A black hole is an area of space that has so much gravity that not even light can escape it. This is some crazy, amazing stuff, isn't it? Up, up, and away. People who are trained to travel to space are called astronauts. Scientists, engineers, pilots, mathematicians, and other experts can study to become astronauts and learn how to travel and live in space. 4. Astronaut Alan Shepard, commander of Apollo 14 space mission, played golf on the moon. He hit 2 golf balls, and they're still up there on the moon. Without Earth's gravity to hold them down, astronauts are weightless in space, and so is their food. I bet it's kind of hard to eat dinner up there. So the STEM in me says, would you like to live in space? What would you do there? How do you think it would be different from living on Earth? Try a comic book page that shows what your life might be like in space. Gravity is very different. That's the biggest thing. 3, 2, 1, blast off. To get to space, people use rockets and shuttles. Rockets burn fuel, which creates the energy needed to blast off into space. Once a rocket boosts a shuttle high enough, the rocket falls away. It floats to Earth on a parachute. In space, people need a space shuttle to get around. Space shuttles are designed to move in space and to come back down to Earth. The space shuttle Atlantis takes off from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. The rocket booster blasts the shuttle into space and then falls away. So there's the shuttle and there's the rocket launcher with all that fuel needed to get them up there. Living in space. 15 countries have worked together to build an international space station. That's a place or a lab where astronauts live and study space. People are living there right now. Yep, they're up in the sky, and sometimes if you've got a telescope, you could even see their little space station, like a satellite, go by. There's so much space to explore, from faraway planets and even farther away galaxies. There's lots to discover in space. Imagine a space shuttle is taking off and you're riding in it. Where do you want to go? Draw a map of your route and make a list of what you would take with you. Wow. It's a glossary of some of the things talked about in the book. That was a lot, I know, so thank you for learning with me. But there is just so much to learn about space. It's truly an amazing thing, and I hope you enjoy learning about it as much as I do, and I hope you go out and enjoy the night sky and start thinking about all the things that are up there. Thanks for reading with me. Have a wonderful day and night. See you soon.